Hi, my name is Dani Passow. I am an Orthodox rabbinical student at Yeshivat Chovevei Torah, and I am the rabbinic consultant for the Sukkah City Sukkah Building Design Competition. Sukkah City is a contest to build sukkahs, which are ritual huts to celebrate the Jewish fall holiday of Sukkot. The competition received over 600 entries from 43 different countries. 12 winners have been selected and will be built in New York City in Union Square. So after the winners were selected, Josh Foer, who organized this competition, referred the architects and designers to me for any questions they had. I also went over each design and looked at it and thought about what possible halachic or Jewish legal concerns might exist. So a number of questions concerned materials. So the roof of the sukkah needs to be made of organic material that closely resembles its original form when it was grown, and the roof cannot be made of something which is used for some sort of conventional purpose. So, for instance, a chair, even if it is made out of organic material, one could not use a chair as the roof of a sukkah. So one that I worked on a lot is actually the entry called log. And this entry proposes using one big log, almost the trunk of a tree, to be the roof of the sukkah. So one major issue that came up here is that there is a general law that the roofing material cannot be made of planks that are greater than 4 handbreadths wide, which is approximately 28 or 25 inches wide. And the reason for this is that such a plank too closely resembles the roof of a normal home, of a permanent home. And one idea that the designers had was what happens if they were to bore holes all the way through this log so that rain could fall through it, thus differentiating it from a normal roof home because no one would have a roof with holes in it for their ceiling. And I actually found a traditional source which makes exactly that suggestion about boring holes through such a plank. One thing which I was really touched by was that how much architects care about specific design criteria and working with the limits of rules and the limits and restrictions. And Talmudic study and Jewish law in general is filled with minutia and legal minutia. And Sukkah is really one example of that, all of the laws that are required to building a kosher Sukkah. And it was great to see this similarity within how much the architects cared so deeply about these limits and these rules, and how the rabbis also felt similarly. Another example was Sukkah of the Signs. Sukkah of the Signs is made entirely of cardboard with signs. They made them sort of replicas of signs that one might find in the street that homeless people may be holding up. And they wanted to have cardboard signs as the roof. Now this cardboard, even though it's organic material, it's processed too much to be considered kosher schach. So instead, we went looking for something that could resemble cardboard, look similar to sign, but would be kosher material. And we came upon something called OSB board, which is really sort of chopped up pieces of wood that are then pressed together. So you can actually see these chunks of wood in this board. And so that really met all the criteria for kosher schach. While the Talmud allows and Jewish law allows for great variation in sukkahs, there's really a standard sukkah which has emerged, that of basically cubic shaped, and the roofing materials are either branches or some sort of bamboo. And I think that this contest really demonstrated how much room for creativity there is within the laws, the Jewish laws, for building a sukkah. This one is very intense. I like the idea of repetition, also sort of spiraling. I think a spiral is a great image, I think maybe for the Jewish calendar, that we repeat things in a way. There's a cycle to it. At the same time, there's a progression. It's circular, but it's also linear. And there's progress forward. And so thinking about the patterns that existed in the past, that exist currently, and that will exist in the future, but also how things change and evolve.